Tisk clack. The can of beer opened with a hiss. As I reclined back in my seat on the couch, I tilted my head down to my phone at my side. No calls. Of course not. Who would want to talk to me? I brought the can to my lips and sipped while staring into the darkness. The moonlight streamed through the window, illuminating the room just enough to make out the majority of the furniture I had. I continued to stare, letting my vision drift around through the darkness and back to the light emitting from my phone. Why? I thought again. Why did this have to happen to me? The light from the moon began to shine brighter as the clouds parted, and a small object in the corner of the room caught my attention. It was the DVD box set I had thrown in anger earlier. I stared at it, then walked over to pick it up. The dent in the corner of it was noticeable. Bringing it back to the couch, I began peeling off the film wrap that surrounded it. I guess it can't be counted as a collector's item anymore. What kind of collector would treat their possessions in such a careless way? I remembered back to when I was younger, and all the trading cards and figures I would spend those years collecting with my friends. A bitter smile overtook my face for the memories of those good times. My eyes searched back at the box set, and then at the TV station directly in front of me. I opened the box and popped the small disc into the DVD player. The roar of a dragon, and hooves trampling on the ground echoed through the room. There was ringing of steel clashing against steel, and a voice. "I'll never let evil win." This guy wouldn't do well in the real world, I thought sarcastically. Of course, I knew this guy was me. Or rather, the character I played. The hero. I had never really bothered to watch my own show. When I first started, I did, but then I felt it may become a problem if I became like one of those people who couldn't separate themselves from the role they played. It might also affect my acting if I became stuck in that headspace and subconsciously typecast myself into a role, and so I opted to forego it unless it was for cast screenings or events. Cling-clang. The battle raged on. One scene after another appeared, and can after can piled onto the small table in front of me. I chuckled to myself, wiping my blurry eyes. Yeah, this was definitely a B show. But it had charm, I suppose. I especially liked the moments Hina was on screen. I could see the sincerity in her acting with every look she gave, and every line. Then I remembered back to the face she was making when she slapped me. I cringed in reflex, and held my palm to my face. My blurry eyesight searched around again before falling on the phone. Should I tell her? I should call her and clear things up, but then I would have to explain. I recalled the look she made again. I had never seen her so angry. In fact, I don't think I had ever seen her angry at all. What if she did believe me and was so angry again that she wouldn't listen? Or what if she decided to do something about the matter if I had told her the whole story? It would only make her a target as well. I couldn't let that happen. There was no reason for her to fall down the hole I had. I saw myself on screen swiping the sword to my side with one hand with a steely gaze and slowly looking up. I remembered that move. I had practiced it for hours while pretending to play hero as a child. That move would be no good in a real fight. That's a really wide opening to make yourself vulnerable, but it sure looked cool. I remembered my sensei telling me that when I was younger and had been all about learning kendo, all heroes knew how to fight. It was only natural for a young mind to get excited at being able to cut down any enemy that stood in their way. Those were good days, I remembered. I began to scroll through my phone looking up my old hometown. Ever since I had moved to the city, I hadn't been back there. Work kept me busy, and there seemed to always be something going on. Scroll, scroll. I hunched over my phone as I viewed a picture of the old creek and the steel bridge that ran over it leading into the town. It was surrounded by hills and forest, and the faces of my old friends flashed in my mind as we played in those hills in the summer sun as kids. I smiled to myself as I began to scroll through my contacts. Omiyama, my old childhood friend. My blurry vision shook as I began typing. Hey there, Ami, it's Ryuki. I hope I still have the right number? I hit send. Staring at the text screen, I waited with anticipation. Nothing happened. The show continued to play in the background. I scrolled through the list again before stopping at another name. Kenji Yato. I began to type again. Clack, clack, clack. My fingers struck the digital keys as if I'd lose all will if it didn't happen in the next few seconds. Hey Yato, long time. This still your number? Send. I paused. Still nothing. I continued to glare at the phone before sighing and tossing it off to the side. My shaky hands reached for another can. Buzz, buzz. I glanced at the phone and picked it up. I felt a warm sensation on my arm and face as I woke up. Blinking my eyes and shifting them side to side, I groaned. Yuck. My head hurt. Hurt was an understatement. It felt more like someone was bashing the inside of my skull with a baseball bat. I rolled off the couch and tried to push myself up. Shakily I passed the island countertop and made my way to the kitchen sink for a glass of water. After gulping down 2 large glasses I began to pant heavily. What the hell happened last night? My eyes followed the path I took back to my previous surroundings. The table was littered with crumbs and beer cans, bento packaging was shoved off to the side and my phone was laying face down on the ground. I remembered I was typing something, but what? I wondered. I went back to pick it up. It was now 3 p.m. in the afternoon. I was so drunk I had slept most of the day away. I stared at the messages on the screen. Yo, who is this? It's Ryuki. Seriously? Yeah, it's me. How are you? I'm good, it's been a long time. The messages went on for a while about nothing in particular. Yeah, my schedule isn't what it was before, so I guess you could say I've got time off. How's everything there? Well, at least drunk me was smart enough to know not to talk about the situation I was in. I remembered the first time I got drunk with Kenji when we were younger and the bottle of sake he had snuck out. I was definitely a blabbermouth who would never shut up till I passed out. I continued reading. You should stop by sometime and see for yourself. I know tons of people would be glad to see you again. Yeah, I guess I will then. You will? Really? Yeah, like I told you I have time off now. Can't wait. I'll give you a call tomorrow. Got to head to bed now. Sure. I cringed. Oh yeah, I remember now. Drunk me was prone to making stupid promises. I was used to drinking in moderation for parties by now, so I didn't make a fool of myself, but on the whole, I normally wouldn't. But now, with everything going on, I scowled at my empty sworn enemies played out on the table, and then back to my phone. Kenji was the kind of guy you could just talk to about whatever. It was so natural that before I knew it I would just be babbling about whatever stupid thing there was that came to mind. That's how it always was growing up. Buzz, buzz. The phone began to vibrate. Incoming call, Kenji Yato. Observing it continue to vibrate for a moment, I answered. Hello. Yo? Mr. Movie Star, long time. Sorry, wrong number. I made like I was about to end the call. Hey, Ryu, that sounds like you. You know I'm not a movie star, right? Tomato, tomato, what's the big difference? I sighed to myself. So, now that you've got time off you're finally gonna come back to see your old friends? Huh? I remembered the messages. Yeah, I did say something like that last night, didn't I? What? But you've got nothing going on, right? Well, yeah. I began to think about everything that happened, then remembered Higuchi's words. Just try to take it easy for a while. But was now a good time to take a trip? It wasn't like I had anything planned, and if I were to just wait around, it's not like I'd be doing anything, anyways. I might just end up throwing myself more pity parties over and over like I had last night. I glanced back at the pile of garbage now visible in the afternoon light. Yeah, I guess I will be, I said. I felt an awkward smile form on my face. That's great. Then I'll pick you up. You sure? I asked. Don't you have work? It's fine, he said. It's not every day an old friend comes back home. I felt a weight lifting off my chest at the sound of those words, coming home. They were relieving in a way. All right, thanks. I said, I'll give you the details when I settle everything. Sounds good. Catch you later. There was a click. The call ended and I had decided, maybe it was the alcohol still in my system, or the nausea still scattering my train of thoughts, but heading back home definitely sounded like the best option at the moment.